Hi, everybody. Welcome to the first ever Bearing Up at Night. It's the evening where I'm at. I don't know where it's at, what the time is at, what time it is where you are. Wow. And when you're listening to this. But here it is 6:30, and the sun won't be officially down for another hour or so, but it is already dark because it's raining outside. So I'm going to be doing these in the evening because I don't have the privilege like Zach does of being a full-time minister. And so that's a great blessing for him. But I don't have that privilege. So a lot of these will be at night when I'm joining you. But for the most part, it's going to be a story. And so when I tell stories, I just want you to just sit back and kind of enjoy it. Don't judge anybody in the story. It's I think Jesus taught using stories more than anything. I don't think that. I read that in the Bible, and I think it's important for us to as well kind of learn from that and teach in that way as well. So I kind of want you to think back right now to when you were a child. When you were a child, let me go ahead and shut this door. When you were a child, what did you fear more than anything? And you probably have a long list, but for a lot of people, the answer is anticipation, right? Me personally, when I know I don't know if my mom remembers this, but there was a time where when I was in trouble, and I don't know what I did, but she could probably tell you exactly what I did. And she had it with me. And she said, get in the car. Just calm, get in the car. She drove me up to my dad's office, and we got in there, and she just said, sit down. So I sat down, and I just remember sitting there. And my dad was facing his computers like this, and I was over to his left. And he was working away. And every so often, he would just stop and kind of look at me. And then just get back to work. Probably about what felt like an eternity, but it was probably only a few hours. The anticipation was the worst part of that punishment. There is so much to be said for that. Well, I lead all that into this. The other night, me and my wife took my daughter out to dinner. We were going to get some sushi. She's not a fan of sushi, but she can have the hibachi, so whatever. We went with her cousin and her aunt, and so the five of us were there eating dinner. And about halfway through the meal, my daughter went from being fairly well behaved to absolutely not well behaved. Just absolutely lost her mind. Like I was like, I don't recognize this child. And a lot of parents, you may be able to relate to that. But anyway, so we continued through dinner, and it got so bad at one point my wife had to take my daughter outside. So she takes her outside, and there she goes. And I'm like, well, I have my own car, so maybe I'll see them at home. Maybe they'll come back in. I don't really know. That's how bad it was. And after a few minutes, she comes back in. Well, my wife then, under her breath and, kind of secretly to me finds a way to tell me. I don't remember how she did it, to be honest, to tell me that she's getting a spanking when she gets home. Okay. No, that's great. That's an anticipation factor. Well, I volunteered to take the 2 3-year-olds home in my truck. I had 2 car seats. So I load them both up in the car, and I let the girls go because neither kid had been super great that evening. And so we're on our way home, and my daughter about halfway home, they're playing. My daughter about halfway home asked me, Daddy, am I still getting a spanking when I get home? I said, yeah. Yeah, you are. And then she asked me a little bit later, she said, but I'm better now. I said, I know, but you're still getting a spanking. And then the saddest thing, like the most gut-wrenching thing for a parent, came out of her mouth. I'm just driving. I'm facing forward. I hear bad, good, bad, good, bad, good out of my daughter's mouth. What are you doing? And she did it again. Bad, good, bad, good, bad, good. I said, what are you doing? She says, I was bad. Or no, she didn't say I was. She says, I'm bad and Easton's good. I was like, no, honey, you're not bad. You're not bad. You had a bad night. You were not acting right, but you're not bad. So the rest of the ride home, I taught my daughter and my nephew the phrase, and I had them repeat it back to me. God made me good. God made me good. And those 2 3-year-olds, I don't know if they'll ever say that again without being prompted, but I made them say it each 3 or 4 times. God made me good. And then we were almost there pulling in, and I'm just listening, and I hear, good, 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 good. So yeah. Because God doesn't make us to be bad. We can do bad things. We do bad things daily. But God made us to be good. God made you, God made my 3-year-old to be good. God made us good. And that's something that we hear. But I'm going to challenge you. Okay? Just go home or go right now, pause the video, or after it's over, you can wait, and go stare at yourself in the mirror and just say, God made me good. It's so simple of a phrase, but the impact that it can have on how you feel about yourself and how you feel about others, how you look at the world, goes miles. Because God did not make us bad. We're not bad. Even the worst people, the worst person you can think of, God didn't make them bad. God made you good. God made you perfect. God made us good. Good, 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 good. I hope y'all have a great night.